So let me guess. You started off wanting to learn how to trade. You saw a couple videos on YouTube. You had a couple friends who were trading in the markets, didn't really know what it was about. So you thought you'd dip your toe into it. You made some profit. You opened up your first ep.2 account.
Yes!
You executed your first demo trade.
Woohoo!
You saw blues, you saw profit, and you thought, you know what? I've cracked the code. I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And then shortly after,
oh my God,
due to some overconfidence on your part, you blow your account. Maybe you put in real money and ended up blowing that account. And so you decide that, you know what, this trading thing is a scam. It's not for me. I'm not going to bother anymore. Well, if that sounds like you, then you and I are very similar, because that was a very similar story to how I began learning to trade. Welcome back to the For Example podcast with your host, Michael Lee. In this episode, we're going to be discussing why it is so important to persevere and remain focused and consistent in trading. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the podcast. The first episode, we talked about what was necessary to be a consistent trader and how to build that resilience. And we're kind of compounding on those concepts today in our podcast. We want to focus primarily on the reasons to continue trading. And for many people, trading is such a brilliant skill, but it's also one of the skills that can really tear you apart if you allow it to. If you aren't disciplined enough, you will literally pay for it. And so my aim is that with this podcast, I'm able to encourage anybody who hasn't picked up their MT4 in a while, or hasn't picked up the charts or looked at the charts in a while, and, you know, has kind of been tossed to and fro away from the charts. And for those people who decided to give up. And the crazy thing about trading is that it always niggles in the back of your head, in the back of your mind. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, you know that those charts are moving, man. And you know that those charts are moving at a rate that, boy, I could be making some bands. I could be making some real money here. And it's just something that once you really understand, it's very, very difficult to forget. So nevertheless, let's kick off this episode. So I want to give you a couple reasons based on my history of why I continue to stay trading. Now, for many people who jumped in the trading game, I was one of those people who wanted to diversify my income. I wanted to be able to make more money than I was making at my workplace. And I just wanted to be able to have some level of financial freedom whereby my time wasn't directly tied to how much money I made, but that I could actually make money work for itself. So I came into the trading game for that sole purpose, as do many people. Now, like so many others who have been a part of the trading or the Forex community or even crypto communities, the only way that seems to be legit in order to get in is to get educated by someone else, and then that educator then was educated by someone else, and that educator was educated by someone else. And it's this whole long list of, basically, I have to mentor you in order for you to understand it. And so when I came into the game, I came to understand that, all right, cool, I needed mentorship, and I got that mentorship. However, it wasn't long until that mentorship then, just for some reason or another, just didn't work anymore. And so for that reason, what I ended up doing was going on my own path to discover the markets, observe the markets, and see what they were actually doing, rather than projecting onto them what I thought they should be doing. And so I had many people who fell away from the charts. I had many people who decided that it wasn't for them and that they were going to go and pursue other things. And I don't know what it is about me, but I just stuck with it. I just stayed determined and just decided that I was going to figure this out, that it wasn't beyond me, that it wasn't too technical, it wasn't too complicated for me to be able to understand. I knew that if there was a way that I could see that money on my demo account, then there was a way that I could see that money in my bank account. And I have just stuck with that resolve since the very first day of encountering trading, because ultimately, what is the alternative? everything in life and everything in the 3D world is going to take time, it's going to take consistency, it's going to take effort, it's going to take grit in order for you to achieve something. Whereas I just found that trading was probably, yes, high risk, but it also was low effort or lower effort than some other things that I saw out there, like whether it was creating a product, marketing a product, or investing into real estate. I personally found that trading for me was just a higher risk and reward task that I could do that required less effort, because ultimately it was just about me being disciplined and me facing my computer screen and executing on what I had said I would execute on beforehand, learning a strategy and being able to implement it. So of course, when we go through the journey of trading, it's never easy. We know that it comes with its ups, it comes with its downs, it comes with its risks, it comes with its challenges, both mental, both physical, both financial. You know, some people have suffered much financial loss as a result of these markets, and so it is something to be very wary about. It is something to be very cautious about entering into, but it's also something to be celebrated when you do actually achieve the goals that you want to achieve in the Forex market. Now, for me, again, going back to that just first reason why I really joined trading was because it was the financial independence. You know, trading, when it's approached with discipline and patience, it has the potential to offer you so much. And when you master the art of it, you can create alternative income streams, you can build wealth, and you can achieve greater financial stability. And I feel as though giving up on trading prematurely means forfeiting this potential pathway to your financial freedom. And again, when we talk about the alternatives, the alternative is to work, which is absolutely fine. And I encourage that for people to do that, especially while they're trading, until the scales balance the other way. I highly recommend that. But I do think if you do give up, then you are not allowing yourself the opportunity to realize the very reason that you came into trading for. Because I find personally that those reasons don't disappear. The very reason that brought you to trading in the first place, it doesn't go away. It stays there, it remains. Probably what happens is that we just quiet it. We probably put it under a rug and we bury it deep within, telling ourselves that we don't really want the thing that we came to trading to get, because we encounter the difficulties when it comes to learning it, to understanding the markets and re-executing and being able to take money away from the markets. But I can say to you that if you really do have the right education, if you have the right mentorship, and you show the right perseverance and consistency, then you absolutely can get paid from this skill, and paid very, very well at that. The other reason I think it's important for stickability and remaining in the trading game is because even though trading is inherently challenging with the ups and downs, especially to your emotional resilience, as we talked about, it really does build that resilience by persevering through the tough times. You develop mental toughness, you develop emotional discipline, and that really spills over to every area of your life. I cannot tell you, I've probably become way more stoic since learning how to trade, and that does show off in certain relationships, because people do notice that you can maybe be a bit more logical in the way that you view things, or you can be a bit more ironclad in a way. I wouldn't consider myself too ironclad, but in some ways you can. And because of that, that really does help you. You know, ultimately, I found that being a trader has made me a better athlete when it comes to going to the gym. It's made me more disciplined with regards to my healthy eating. It's made me more disciplined when it comes to the other goals in my life and the other pursuits that I have. It's just really had a ripple effect, all because I've stuck at this one goal, and it's rippled into other areas of my life and showed me the power of consistency. Showed me the power of consistency. It showed me the power of compounding. It showed me the power of stickability. And so resilience building is definitely a byproduct of being a trader. And there's nothing better than being able to show resilience in the face of adversity. Again, in this 3D world, we will have and we will encounter issues, and knowing that you have that inner armor of resilience to be able to continue despite what you may be seeing or despite what you may be experiencing, and knowing that trading puts you in that mindset to come again to the charts regardless of whether you win or whether you lose. You know that trading is a zero-sum game. There is no 100% win. You know, you are always increasing your win rate or warring against whether you take that trade or not. That resilience and that payout when you do get it right, I cannot tell you how great it is for your actual overall life. And I do think it's an amazing way to be able to build that resilience. Now, the obvious, of course, being a trader really embodies the spirit of entrepreneurship. It requires you as an individual to take calculated risks, to make strategic decisions, and to adapt to changing market conditions. Now, the Forex market is just like any other market out there, whether it's the retail market, the food market, whether it's the pharmaceutical industry, whatever other industry you can name out there, the Forex market is literally the same thing. And so when you are executing, when you are buying, when you are selling, when you are finding a price in discount or or looking to sell in premium, these are all the things that go on in traditional markets across the world, no matter what industry you find yourself in. However, I just find that trading is the condensed, almost simulated version of that. And because of that, you are still gaining the entrepreneurial skills in just a way more condensed time frame. And that for me is a huge benefit, because you know, if you were to run a shop, let's say, for example, and you have X amount of customers that come into the shop, you do not know that day how many customers are going to come into your shop. You don't know what the footfall is going to be. Footfall, for those who don't know, is a retail term for people who enter into your store through the door. You don't know what the footfall is going to be. You don't know whatsoever. What you can do, though, is you can prepare your stock, you can prepare your staff, and you can prepare for the day ahead. And it's the exact same thing in trading. Funnily enough, I use the word stock there, whether it's stock trading or an FX asset or a crypto asset, whatever it is that you are buying and selling, it's the same thing in the Forex industry, in the Forex market, in the markets as a whole, which we, of course, for example, teach you how to trade all markets. And so because of those entrepreneurial skills that you are building, I feel like you are developing essentially the mindset that is characterized by innovation, creativity, and again, that resilience that we talked about earlier. If you give up too soon, it means you're kind of abandoning this entrepreneurial journey and you're missing out on the potential rewards that it may offer. Now, many of you may not know this, but a lot of companies do not realize profit for years. For years, Uber, that everybody uses now in its day-to-day life, in their day-to-day lives, Uber did not realize profit for years. They were loss-making for so many years until they became a staple part of our everyday lives, and now they are profit-making. When the venture capitalists that invested in Uber made that decision to back them and put money into them, they knew that that would be a part of the plan. The plan would be to be loss-making for X amount of years before they started to make profit, because that is what it takes to be able to build a business. You know, there's so many costs involved, and in Forex or in trading in general, the cost is your learning. Unfortunately, you cannot fast forward or rewind time when it comes to the market. So the time it takes for you to pick up the skill and the time it takes for you to learn the skill really is the cost that you're laying down. You're laying down that cost. Of course, we can talk about actual costs when it comes to commission or interest, etc., spreads, the rest of it. Those are actual technical, fully realized costs when it comes to actually executing on a trade. However, the cost in terms of learning and the skills that you're gaining at the same time is similar to that of university or that of school. You know, when you're at university, you're not making money from the degree that you're studying at the current moment in time. You are quite literally paying to study in the hope that once you graduate, you would then make money. And it's a very, very similar trajectory when it comes to trading, a very, very similar trajectory when it comes to either getting funded or building up your own personal account. There is no difference. So that entrepreneurial mindset, do not negate that. You are building those same skills that if you were to apply them to the real estate market, if you were to apply them to running a restaurant, it would be the same types of things that you're encountering, except there is a lot more pressure on your head because you may have overheads, you have staff, you have cost of raw materials, all these other things that you have to pay for upfront before realizing profit. Whereas in the Forex market and the trading in general, you can quite literally sit on your chair and make those decisions and gain those skills from the comfort of your own home, which is why so many people are attracted to it. Now, again, you need to be having the right education, you need to be having the right mentorship in order to really understand how the markets work, and you need to be consistent in what it is that you're doing every single day. The same way, if I was to go to McDonald's in London versus McDonald's in New York, yes, it would be slightly different, but I know exactly what I'm getting when I'm going to McDonald's. A Big Mac in China is going to be very similar to a Big Mac in Australia, for example. It's not going to change, and it's the exact same thing when it comes to trading, in the sense that you are doing the same thing every single day. Now, if that's not enough to encourage you to continue in your pursuit of trading, let's talk about the diversification of income. Now, that I stated as the main reason for me coming into the market when I first started, and trading really does provide you that unique opportunity to diversify your sources of income beyond traditional employment. Now, again, I'm not against traditional employment. However, when you master different trading strategies and asset classes, or you focus solely on one, which I did for a very long time before expanding out to now 3, you can create a diversified portfolio of investments that generate you different income streams. And by having those different income streams, it means that you are then sheltered from whatever storm may then come that you may not be prepared for, whether it be job loss or whether it be a particular expense, maybe on your car, on your house, or just something that you want to go and buy because you've seen something that you like. Now you have diversified income stream. You're able to make those purchases, or you're able to pay for those inconveniences without it all coming from one source and it breaking the bank. That diversified portfolio of income it's honestly just incomparable when it comes to how much better you will feel as a person, knowing that you have different income streams to be able to cover you on rainy days. So yeah, when you give up on trading too fast, it means you're missing out on the chance to build a robust financial portfolio that can withstand any economic uncertainties. We saw it during COVID. There was a big uptake of people wanting to learn how to trade when COVID hit because of job loss and how many people were made redundant. So yeah, I definitely encourage you to continue. If you have fallen off the bandwagon, the charts aren't going anywhere. Come back home, man. Come back home. The people miss you. The charts miss you. Now, the final one I want to touch on as a means to be able to, as a reason to come back to trading, really is the community and the support that you get when you are a trader and when you find other like-minded individuals. There is nothing more powerful than connecting with people who are on the same journey and who have similar desires, if not the same desire for their lives as you. There is nothing more powerful than that. Sometimes we can be the lone wolf in our friendship circles. We can be the only people who want to continue to learn how to trade. Maybe your friends fell away. Maybe they just didn't have the same interest that you did. Maybe their fire for it had kind of fizzled out. Whereas when you are connected with people who are on the same wavelength, it's so powerful. It's what is known as a mastermind. And there's so many books that refer to it in the self-development space, but the mastermind is essentially what it says on the tin. It is the idea that one person on their own is not enough, but then when they are joined together, they create, by everybody's by each person's strengths and weaknesses, a mastermind is created where everybody is able to bring their strengths and then move the dial further than if it was just one person on their own. And trading in and of itself can be a very lonely journey. I know so many people spend countless hours on YouTube, countless hours trying to discover, communities or find communities that they can join. When you find the right community, that really, really gets you in motion, because you are able to converse with people. You're able to learn from other people's mistakes. You're able to understand your progress from a third person's perspective, because somebody can help you and basically show you your blind spots so that you can progress. And then equally, as somebody who runs a community, for example, I find that my skill set and my understanding of the charts has just shot up astronomically because of teaching. Teaching is the number one way to retain information. A very small portion of retaining information comes from listening. A very small proportion of being able to retain information comes from speaking, but teaching has the highest proportion of being able to retain information. And I can tell you that by teaching people, my understanding of the markets has just increased. And it was something I didn't quite expect, but it just so happened because I had to vocalize what I saw in the markets. I had to speak about what I was seeing and not just keep it up in my head. So community is very, very important. And if you haven't got community, you can of course join our Telegram group. The link is in the description below. And we are building community of people who are serious traders, who really, really want this to be a lifestyle for them. They want to be able to trade and to travel and to pursue their goals and to do whatever they want when they want. They want to be able to be on their own time and take the money that they make from the markets and invest it into other ventures. This is what we're about. That is everything that is encapsulated in, for example, and that's why we're here, to really show you that, one, there is ample opportunity in the market, but two, that you can really, really go far when you go together. That being said, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I hope you took away some gems and have been encouraged to continue to stay on the charts. Don't fall away. Trust me, it is worth it in the end. Again, you can catch us on Telegram. The link is in the description below. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know why you fell away from the charts. What were some of the reasons that you decided to step away? Was it due to loss? Was it due to emotional turmoil? What was the reason? Was it due to work? Maybe you had started a new job and didn't have the time anymore. Maybe you became a parent. Maybe you got married. Whatever the reason is, let us know in the comments below, and we will be back again with another podcast. I love doing these are one of my favorite things to do, because it just means I can speak at you guys and really just give you the real deal of what it is to be a trader, and to hopefully give you some gems that can help you on your trading journey. That being said, thank you again for listening to this episode. We will catch you in the next one.